Well, the races are really coming fast and furious here at Donington Park, aren't they, as we move into the second and final race of the weekend for the Molson Group British Sidecar Championship. Here we go then, Simon Gilbert and Jed Pilmore-Brady on the reverse grid pole position as we get down to Redgate for the first time. Ellis is on the grass in the background. Look at that as we get into Redgate. It's Tommy Phil, by the looks of things, coming through and taking the lead. Chris Walker's up the inside line. Kershaw right in the mix there as well. And of course, the winners of yesterday's race are charging through from 10th on the grid.
Another fantastic start. Do you remember Assen with
the lead has gone off.
Oh, terrific on the grass. Oh, that's Tommy Phil on the Brian Gray power biking bike. Oh dear.
Well, Tom Bryant seemed to have some sort of problem there, Barry, coming down the crane of curbs, and the passenger had to readjust. I don't know whether it affected the weight distribution or something. Well, that's the first time we've seen a leader go off like that for a long time.
A bit of overexcitement, I suspect, but 6th place for them yesterday. Chris Walker was absolutely flying yesterday. Look at the number 9 there, the Chris Walker in the distinctive colours of the Tag Racing Yamaha, with Todd Ellis going through on the inside.
This is like the Dodgems at Bognor Regis. They're all over the place on the first lap. This is what the reverse grid's designed to do, of course, and it is working. Look at Walker.
Ben and Tom Birchall are in there. They're right in the middle of the mix, in the middle of your picture at the back. So they're in there. Lewis Blackstock, Paddy Rosney, 95 leading from Rob Biggs. Rob Biggs always a good early runner on the reverse grid.
Well, this is absolutely stunning stuff, isn't it? Let's keep a close eye on the Birchalls then. So, there's Ellis up the inside. This is where he had his spin yesterday when he went through on Kershaw, and that's Lewis Blackstock. He's edging out now. What a lovely move. He went into the corner 4th, comes out 2nd, and Ellis absolutely needs the victory here this afternoon. He's already 25 points ahead in the championship, but Kershaw is charging here at Donington. Now the JG Speedfit bikes, the Quattraplan bikes, they're coming through as well.
Yeah, well, the Molson Express Tyres number 1 bike, Steve Kershaw, is bogged down in the traffic. There, Tommy Phil getting a little bit of consolation there. Simon Gilbert, Jed Pilmore-Brady, where are they? They're in the back. Martin Kirk there. Look at that on the grass.
So the passenger seemed to have a problem there. Tom Bryant alongside Tommy Phillips seemed to come off the outfit, got himself back on, and it just affected the weight. They couldn't turn left, of course, with the passenger off the platform as they went down the hill there at the crane of curves. Scary stuff, and once again it just proves, of course, that the passenger is a co-driver, not just a passenger.
Indeed, and I'll tell you what, he'll beat himself up about that, Tom Bryant, because he's a dedicated passenger. But look at this, Todd Ellis then, making no mistake here, going through underneath Martin Kirk, Shelley Smithers. That looks like Simon Gilbert with smoke coming out. No, it isn't. It's Hawkswell, I believe.
Oh dear, well there's obviously been some contact there further down the order. You have to say, Kirk and Smithies going great guns again. Let's hope that bike gets to the end of the race. A bit of unreliability for them so far this season, but Martin Kirk, the Stourbridge driver there, Shelley Smithies alongside, almost contact with Lewis Blackstock down the straight. But I'd really love to see Kirk and Smithies up there with a really solid result, Basil. They very much deserve it.
Yeah, moved down to the West Country now. Somerset they're living, well, Martin Kirk is. Shelley Smithers, of course, still very much in the Hampshire area. Through go Kershaw. Kershaw and Clark, race winners yesterday in the 10-lapper. You won't believe we're only on race 2. Like you say, it's like a destruction derby, isn't it?
We've seen it a few times, haven't we, in the reverse grid race this year, but this one, the best so far in terms of drama. I don't think everybody would agree with that. There's Chris Walker there, side by side with Ricky Stevens, who's cutting through. Okay, 8 laps to go, Barry. This is lap 3. Let's just take stock there as the Birchalls now begin to cut through. Look at Walker.
Walker on the inside going down into Redgate. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood going with him underneath. So brilliant stuff from the JG Speedfit Quattro Plant boys. Ben Holland and Lee Watson some 4 places behind their teammates. John Holden right at the back there, not having the best ride at all. John Holden much further down the order in 10th place, but at the sharp end, guess who?
Mr. Ellis disappearing off up the road, 1.3 seconds. But can Kershaw overhaul Blackstock? I'm sure they certainly can. And here it comes at McLean's, right on cue. This is only lap 3. There's a long way still to go in this sidecar race. That's the gap there of 1.5 seconds, and I reckon they can catch them.
Well, we had lap records yesterday falling thick and fast. Ben and Tom Birchall set a new lap record. Then twice Kershaw did it on his fight through the field, and on the final lap Todd Ellis did it. So here we go. Can we get to lap record speed again? Well, it remains to be seen. The best lap yesterday, 136.7, and we are 138.2, so a long way off.
Yeah, let's see what they can do now then as they get the hammer down. We'll have to keep an eye on Ben and Tom Birchall's times as well, won't we? They're obviously mixed up with other outfits at the moment. I imagine they've probably overhauled Rob Biggs and Jerome Schmitz on this lap. The Birchalls, yes, they have indeed. Look, they're right up there already behind Ricky Stevens for 6th place. Is it beyond the realms of possibilities that the Birchalls could still win this race? The next few laps will tell, I suppose.
They came from row 9, so 18 outfits back. That is a long, long way back. But Ben and Tom Birchall were absolutely flying yesterday. Is it within the realms of possibility, as you say? Well, time will tell. We're only on lap 4.
Well, we can finally take a breather. A few dark clouds in the distance, but it has clouded over a bit, actually, as we look through our commentary box window. But where do you look next? Number 3 is John Holden and Lee Kane. They've had a good season. They've passed Kirk and Smithies now on the yellow bike down the hill. We're watching 7th and 8th places. Kershaw, 2.4 seconds behind Ellis, but now, of course, in clear air as we watch the Birchalls right up behind Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, and this is for 5th place, and they're lapping quickly, but obviously they're losing time in the traffic. Chris Walker having a wonderful weekend as well. They had their podium yesterday, their 2nd of the year, and the Donington crowd absolutely love to see Chris Walker back up there.
Yeah, 4 times runner-up in the British Superbike Championship, Chris Walker, and he's going to prove to be a difficult man to pass. He knows the Donington Park track very well. Ricky Stevens looking, they're fighting, of course, so Ben and Tom Birchall see an opportunity here, maybe just to let the brakes off and slip up the inside. Yes, they have. It's as simple as that. Those big fat Avon tyres, we were talking earlier about braking force, much more grip here than on a solo for obvious reasons.
And what you're also pointing out to me, of course, earlier in the media centre, Barry, is just how evenly matched all of the categories seem to be across this BSB weekend at Donington Park, generally speaking.
Yeah, down the speed trap at Craner, there's only 5 miles an hour between the Motostar, the Junior Super Sport, and indeed Superbike. So it's about 120 miles an hour down there for everyone. Here come Ben and Tom Birchall now on the back of the Stalker. My guess is up the inside into Redgate. They'll pop out of the slipstream. Is there a way past here? Well, did I call it?
The Stalker has been stalked and up into 4th position. Ooh, I thought they'd run a bit wide. There go Ben and Tom Birchall. They did run a little bit wide. They've lost momentum coming down through Hollywood, but they should hold that one as the Birchalls, of course, prepare to go to Estoril for the World Championship finale up against Tim Reeves and Pekka Pavarinta in 2 weeks' time. Gap at the front then 2.7. Ellis and Richardson a fastest lap last time round on a 1:37.3.
Do you know, this is thrilling stuff, but outside of the hysteria, hasn't Lewis Blackstock had a brilliant season? Here he is again, Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney, the number 95 SBR Barn Silicon Racing Yamaha in 3rd place again here. They are sitting very comfortably in 3rd place in the championship at the moment with a 17-point lead over Gary Bryan.
Yeah, 6 podium finishes for these guys so far this season. They were 5th here in race 1 yesterday, so can they make it 7 podium finishes now for 2019? Not if the Birchalls get their way, of course, because if they can overhaul Walker and Hall, so you'll see in the background there, look, they've already gone through then, so the Birchalls, as we know, are up now into 4th position, and they are going to close in now on Blackstock for that podium.
Well, this battle between Chris Walker and Ricky Stevens, it just underlines how good Walker's come. That's Simon Gilbert. No, it isn't. It's Simon Gilbert. Simon Gilbert and Jed Pillmore Brady. Another red one in the gravel.
Not the sound they wanted to hear there. That horrible sound of gravel on the bottom of the outfit. Well, red is not the colour this afternoon, is it?
It's not the colour this afternoon. The last thing you want is gravel on your bottom, I can tell you. Not a pretty sight.
Is that coming from personal experience, Barry?
Oh dear.
Talking of the incidents, look at the mess down the Croners as well, where various solos have gone off earlier on in the day, and Ricky Stevens right with Walker now.
Yeah, Ricky Stevens will be back next year. Whether it'll be with Quattro Plant or not, we don't know, but certainly Ricky Stevens will be back. The word is in the paddock that Ben and Tom Birchall are taking a year out next year, apart from short chassis duties, i.e. Isle of Man.
Oh, and Ben Holland and Lee Watson are out of the race again. They had to pull into the pit lane with problems yesterday, and this time they've stopped at Redgate. It is not their season, is it?
No, it isn't, and it's good to see them back for a full year. Hopefully they'll do it again next year. A very important member of the paddock, Ben Holland. He and Lee Watson, very accomplished front runners always. Preparation sometimes with a bit of a question mark, so let's hope they get that sorted. Birchall's now on the back of Blackstock.
I don't think they're going to be on the back of them for very long. That's a late lunge at the Melbourne Loop. Wow, they were very close to touching. They may have even touched there, a light touch. But I thought they were through. They certainly weren't. You did say Lewis Blackstock, he's not backward in coming forward. Here come Ben and Tom Birchall. No, again, this is great defensive stuff from Blackstock.
Well, let's see what he can do at Redgate, because he will know that Ben and Tom Birchall will be looking up the inside at Redgate. This is a deja vu move, that exactly the same as he pulled on Chris Walker. He's alongside, he's on the line. Job done, block pass, no way through for Lewis Blackstock.
Clean as a whistle, and perhaps just a few drops of moisture in the air again here now at Donington Park. 25 past 2 local time, but lap 7, 8, 9 and 10. 4 laps to go. There are the Birchalls ahead of Blackstock, and look back, a three-way fight going on there for 5th, 6th and 7th positions. That's Walker, Stevens and Holden on the back of them. Kirk and Smithy still having an excellent outing, very much inside the top 10 in 8th place. Biggs and Smits are 9th, Bryan and Hyde are 10th.
I'm really impressed with Chris Walker and Ashley Halls. They're doing a fantastic job, because they've got a double British champion behind them in the shape of Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood. They're doing a great job, and now John Holden very much coming up to play in 7th place at the moment. John Holden and Lee Kane, number 3, teammates to Lewis Blackstock and Paddy Rosney. But Chris Walker, excellent stuff, Greg. You've got to hand it to him.
It's great to see, isn't it? I think it's great for the whole of PSP. It's great for the Sidecar Championship in particular, and how great would it be to see him actually winning a race. There's John Holden then, through on Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood, the champions of 2015 and 16. Holden at 61 years of age, he has still got it, hasn't he? He keeps surprising us. He shouldn't be surprising us, but he keeps surprising us time and time again this year. Stevens going for a wider sweeping line, and Chris Walker's going to have to go on the defensive in a second.
At 61 years of age, he's a mere whippersnapper, I can tell you. Speaks from experience. Look at Walker now. He's got John Holden and Lee Kane climbing all over the back. The gap at the front is worth mentioning. 3 seconds Kershaw still trails Todd Ellis by.
I noticed a rain flag was out there as well, Barry, in the background at Goddard, so we said there might be a bit of moisture in the air. Here comes John Holden on Chris Walker, and this is for 5th position. Stalwarts of the paddock. Walker will come back underneath them. He knows that line, of course, from over the years on the solo. A little bit wider on the sidecar.
Yeah, a bit wider. Not quite so much room down through the Craner curves. 120 miles an hour, just taking lots and lots of curve there into the old hairpin. That is a lot sharper than it looks, and traditionally along this bit into Starkey's, it's a little bit bumpy along to Starkey's traditionally. Birchall's coming and Lewis Blackstock right with them.
And the red flag is out here at Donington Park. The red flag is out halfway around the penultimate lap of this second sidecar race of the weekend. Rain falling. Well, what a shame there that we were deprived of perhaps a fight between Ellis, Kershaw and the Birchalls, because there was a real concertina effect going on there. They were all closing up. Ellis had done a 40.4, Kershaw a 39.8, the Birchalls a 38.9. Now this is the reason for the red flag. Chris Walker, as he comes around the right-hander of McLean, spins it, and it just confirms that it's the right decision to red flag this race as the rain comes down. Well held, Chris, there. Ashley Halls did well to stay on board as well. Well, they kept forward motion despite spinning around McLean's there, but it is the rain. That's why the red flag's out. Luckily, Walker rejoins.
And here we are, level again. 5 points each they'll get for that. So, I mean, we are still 30 points, that gap, going into Brands with double points.
There you are then, Ellis and Richardson this time bounced back with a series of very quick laps in the opening stages in particular there. Kershaw was beginning to catch, but there wasn't enough time left, and then the red flag came out just over 1 lap from home. Podium for the Birchalls, storming up from the back of the grid. Phenomenal performance from them, bearing in mind they had to fight through all of the traffic. Chris Walker there, losing ground on the final lap when he spun just as the red flags came out. So he spun at McLean's, rejoined as Bryan and Hyde complete the top 10. Points down to 15th place. That'll be the same at Brands Hatch in 2 weeks' time as the championship is decided, but of course double points on that occasion. Peach and Edwards there finishing 11th from 2nd on the grid with their reverse grid pole position. Others less fortunate. Holland and Watson, another technical problem and out of the race for the second time in 24 hours.